you've had a lot of things happen in your life. You've, like us all, inside and outside the yellow tape. I'm just going to ask you point blank, in your life, what do you feel Operation Yellow Tape has done for you? Like, I guess personally, you're not a first responder, you love us and everything, but why are you so dedicated to the brand and to spreading the message? I love it.
You told me I had to be. No, I'm just kidding. I got in as a obviously friendship with Kenny started back in 2020 with the I won't go into that, but personally, I lost my mother after 5.5 years of caring for her. She died on Christmas Day. It'll be 6 years this year. So I kind of felt like a failure with that. And I had a lot of people telling me, oh, well, if you'd have done this right, if you'd done that right, and not being in my shoes. And so I felt like there was a lot of blame on me that I didn't do something right. Lot of fires, if you will, have come up since her passing, that I've had to kind of put out. And I really feel like taking care of her. And before I met Kenny, I was very, very, very much alone in how do I deal with this? I did not have anyone to really talk to about, because you feel like, asking for help. I was raised, it's a weakness. And I know intellectually that that's not true, but Operation Yellow Tape has literally given me not only an outlet to help and volunteer, but also some of Kenny's tips, his podcast practices and books that he likes to advertise. I've taken quite a bit of that homework and journaling and such. But Operation Yellow Tape has quite literally saved my life. There was a time earlier this year, and I told Kenny, and I won't go into that. Well, I will. I had a gun in my hand, and I was thinking about making that decision, but I was I was attacked by the cat that I was pet sitting for, and I knew then that it was not going to be a good call to make. And it took a while before I could even tell Kenny. Kenny's probably the only one I can get that raw with. I maybe have only one other person other than Kenny that I can really do that. But at the same time, I think the issue is, oh, I don't want to bother Kenny, or I don't want to bother my friend, or I want to, not wanting to bother. So I think personally, OYT has saved my life because I know he's there if I need him. A lot of his homework assignments that he gives out, the uh, the practices he calls it, have really helped me drill down, if you will. You see this huge, problem, but the way he puts it and has you break it down, you're able to dissect it and handle it in smaller bites instead of this big, huge problem. You kind of chip away at it. So that's really, I think, part of what really Kenny really helped save my life on more than one occasion. And I love you, brother. You know that. But I think it can reach anybody because, and I want to touch on the gentleman who spoke a few moments ago, Rob, your background in the fire department comes across so genuine and sincere. I think that's where people can actually say, you know what, he knows what he's talking about because he's been where we are. He's stood where we stood. He's seen and smelled what we see and smell. So we can believe him. He's safe to believe. He's not just saying it, he's lived it. So I think that's why it appeals to so many, not just first responders, but because, as Kenny just mentioned, I'm an administrative assistant. So I think just his genuine sincerity is what really comes across. And there's no mistake in that experience. There's no mistake in that sincerity when he's speaking, and it really touches you. I don't care what your profession is. So anyone can really benefit from Operation Yellow Tape.
Well, thank you. I like when someone says that because I remember you were going through a hard time. And I could feel it. I was adding slow pressure to you. but I was also letting you, honestly, we're talking too much now, but I was letting you work through it before I got in my car and drove 2 hours. But I was letting you realize that what you were dealing with was going to end. You were going to work yourself through it. And I was adding slight pressure to you so you would understand that it's going to be painful and tiring and financially exhausting, and people are going to show you who they are. And you did. And you made a complete 100% turnaround in your professional life and personal life, but you had to go through that. I wanted to swoop in and save everything, but I was going to pressure test you and make you make some hard decisions. And you used the things that I try to prevent people from being like I was for those many years. So that's an awesome story. And thanks for sharing that because it's not easy to share that uh, when you're suicidal or close to it. And that is someone's story that becomes a survival guide, in my opinion. So
Great. Thank you,
uh,
Kenny.
you're welcome.